Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. This one is just a kind of a reading update, kind of a little bit of this and that and everything. Just to give you a small update, because I got food poisoning. Not right now, I had food poisoning and I was kind of knocked out cold for like almost 2 weeks, like 1.5 weeks, a little bit more. And there's one video I keep trying to make, and the first time I recorded it without sound, and now I got food poisoning and I could not even really leave my bed, and I'm considering whether maybe I just should not make that video, and so I made this one instead. And I'll just kind of show you around a little bit, just like a whole bunch of stuff. I'll show you what I read while I was bedridden. I didn't read that much for a couple days. I think I only had one day where I didn't read at all. I think all the other days I read at least like a couple of pages. And I had a lovely time with 9 stories by J.D. Salinger. In this copy that was probably read by me for the very last time, because almost every single page of it has come loose. The glue has dissolved completely. Most pages just kind of broke off while I was turning them, so if you're really careful, I think you could maybe read this again, but this is more something that should probably stay on the shelf from now on. That being said, well, I am gonna review it in depth, like all of these books, in the end of the month, like I always do. I'm just gonna say that I thoroughly enjoyed these. I thought these were amazing, and I think this is kind of what Murakami hopes he could write like this is what he wishes his short stories would be. I feel like, yeah, I had a blast with these. That was nice. Then next up, I read The Long Walk while I was recovering. This book I also loved. There are some naysayers. This is a non-fiction. This is a true story of a guy who walked. Let me show you. He walked from here, from near Yakutsk in Siberia, all the way to India. In fact, to Calcutta to be precise. And this book really gripped me. This gave me that feeling, like I felt like every time I wasn't reading this, it was like wasted time. I really wanted this really hooked me. Of course, there are some naysayers that claims that this is all fake and made up. But maybe I will say more about that in my review. So if you're interested in that, then you should probably check out that video once I post it in the end of November. And then last but not least, while I was feeling better already, but still took some chill days, I read Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki. I read this within like 3 days. I think I blasted through this. Good old Murakami, say about this guy what you want, but he definitely can write some entertaining ass novels. This was, very enjoyable. Really like this. Had some pretty good reads this month so far. And on the topic of which, these are the books I'm reading right now. Joseph und seine Brüder, Joseph and his brothers. The first part of this tetralogy by Thomas Mann, the stories of Jacob. This is kind of like an Old Testament retelling with parts of, like, if you're familiar with that, like the stories of Jacob and Esau and Abraham, Isaac, that lineage of the Israelites. I'm having a very hard time with this, I like the Old Testament stories. I'm not super familiar with them, but I'm familiar enough to kind of follow the plot. But man, this is, to be honest, I'm kind of getting into it now that I'm more than halfway done with it, but this is giving me a tough time. And this is the thinnest volume. There are 3 more books in this series who are all like double the size. So yeah, I'm not feeling very motivated, but I'm still persisting. A couple pages every day. That's kind of how you get through something like this. I will say that I really like, this is very aesthetically pleasing. I don't know if it will pick up on camera. If you are German, you will find this very funny, but I'm not gonna explain it. Yeah, this is probably not, you're probably not gonna see this, but it's very elegant, the font and the margins and stuff. Very fitting for Thomas Mann. And then I have Zeige deine Wunde, Show Your Wound by Rüdiger Sünner, about spirituality in the art of Joseph Beuys, who's one of my favorite artists of all time. He's amazing. I'm a big fan. And this is kind of a deep dive. It's not a biography, it's more of a deep dive of like the meaning, the deeper meaning, kind of an appreciation and also in criticism of his work. And I'm just like kind of starting with it, but it's very interesting. It's definitely something that you need to work through more than you can like casually read it, but I'm sure it's worth it. Next up, I'll show you my book haul, a couple of books that I obtained recently. Found this in the free box, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is, kind of the OG self-help book. This is kind of a classic among self-help books. If there would be a classic among self-help books, it would be this one. This is from the 1930s originally. And 1936, yeah. And this, I can't imagine this has aged too well, but it's definitely, it's a new edition. It's still being read, definitely. Yeah, and I think they like renewed it. This is from 2022, this edition. So yeah, definitely kind of a dive into what, maybe it will give me some insights about myself, but it's more of like a document of how, society was like then in the 1930s. So I'm excited to get to that one. And then I have a little announcement, which is probably not too exciting for most of you, but kind of for the last 2 books I'll be buying for a long time, and also kind of a reward for having fucking survived that stomach flu, food poisoning thing. I bought 2 books at a used bookstore. Jakob der Lügner, Jacob the Liar by Jurek Becker, which is, I don't really know anything about this, but Jurek Becker is just one of those names that keeps popping up the whole time in German literature. Like, it's just a name that I keep on seeing everywhere, and I've never read a book by him, so I'll take that opportunity. And similar to the first one, I Zimbra is the name of this book by Christian Schiller. This is a German author, and I think it's his debut novel. And it just seems like a weird, esoteric, postmodern kind of novella with some weird art in it. Yeah, cool cover. I don't really know anything about this, but it was €2. And that being said, if you notice my backdrop here, I kind of went overboard. The thing is, if you live in a big city, like I do, and if you know where to look, it's so easy to obtain books for almost no money. For most of these, I paid like less than €5, I would say. I obtained for most of these. Most of these were like between €2 and €3 or completely for free. And that's why, since like I've been living here in Hamburg, which has been a bit more than a year, I obtained about twice the amount of books that I read. And it's not stopping. And that's why I'm calling it quits. I'm doing you have some cool buzzwords, just like some booktube buzzwords. Just choose whatever you like. You can call it the TBR takedown challenge, or the read what you own challenge, or the no buy. I'm just gonna stop buying books for some time, for I would at least like multiple months, because this is very even though it makes for a pretty cool background, I think this has gotten so out of hand. It's annoying me a little bit. And I'm also doing that thing again where I'm just reading all, I'm getting those dopamine hits, those like finishing a book. I'm reading all my short books and I'm keeping all the long books. And I think if I would completely read all of these books until I have none left, I would estimate that this would take me at least 3 years. So I'm good for a while. And there's really no reason, there's no reason to keep stacking up books like that. So, I will, of course, have some exceptions to my own completely made up rules. I will not spend any money on books. But if I'm buying a gift for someone, if it's a friend's birthday or something, and I want to give them a book, then I'm gonna buy it. It's not for myself, it's fine. If I, for some reason, enter a place that sells books and I'm seeing a book that I've been wanting for ages, like some certain edition, I can't think of one from the top of my head, but I don't know, like if I see a book that I've just been looking for a long time and I see it there, then I'm not gonna, I'm gonna just buy it, And also, the last exception, I'm gonna buy books that I need to read for uni. I'm gonna write my thesis, my master's thesis, at the beginning of next year, like next spring, and I'm not hesitant if I can buy a book. Usually these books are dirt cheap, or they're like 70 euros, and there's usually no in between for these academic books that I need. I'm just gonna, and if I own it, then I can write it. It's something that is gonna benefit me long term if I own it. So, yeah, that is also the last exception. Yeah, and that's what's gonna happen. And so no more book hauls for probably at least like half a year. I didn't count these. I could have counted them, but I think it's not even all of them. I have on some other shelves, I have some unread books too. I still have my over there is my In Search of Lost Time septology, I guess, that I haven't even started yet. I have tons and tons of books to read. I'm estimating that it's probably about 150, and I think I'm gonna read at the very, very least 50 books before I even start thinking about buying books again. So I am gonna, I think for December I'm just gonna read normally, and then in January that's gonna be one of my last months where I can kind of chill before I have to write my thesis, and I also don't have any exams and stuff. So for January I'm gonna do like kind of a reading challenge again. I'm just gonna basically, I did something similar before. It's great fun. It's very satisfying, it's a bit, you could call it accelerationist, like social media content, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I don't care. It's just fun. I think I'm just gonna tackle a whole bunch of books and try, like, for the month of January to just read as much as I can. Like, some of these books have been on here for like at least 4 years, I think. Like, I moved with some of these books. I moved twice without ever reading them, and that's unreasonable, and so that has to stop. And so, yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe I can make some cool content out of this. I mean, book hauls are very easy content to make, obviously. That's why and I liked watching them. So, but yeah, I think this will also motivate me to make some videos that have kind of like more meaningful content. So, let me know what you think about that. I think, you know, things have gotten a bit unhinged, and yeah. So I think that's kind of it. Just like a little chatting, bookish chatting, just like a little update for you. And yeah, if you have any thoughts, any feelings, any criticism, then please let me know. But please be kind. I'm a little bit sensitive. No, just kidding. Just hit me with it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Bit of a shorter one today, but yeah. See you guys. Probably in the end of the month. Goodbye.